What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today I will be doing a technical analysis breakdown for Alibaba Group Holdings with the ticker symbol BABA. This was a viewer's request, and thank you for your donation. I will first be going over what I see on the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please trade at your own risk. So let's begin the analysis on the BABA chart. Let's see what's happening and where it's most likely headed in the near term and long term. Well, this is my prior analysis I had before. You see that there was this upward sloping trend line. And there's this horizontal level that price can pull back to, and also prices below the downward trend line as well. So let's just take a fresh look at it, a fresh set of eyes. Let's just zoom out, soak in all the information, and then we'll go from there. Well, basically, it looks like there's an all-time high right around $302 back in October of 2020. And since then, price has not been up there in a very long time. It bottomed out at the 60s, mid 60s, low 60s, even mid 50s before finally trending up higher. So it looks like the trend is reversing. Basically, it bottomed in October 2022, and then it really started moving up higher since April of last year. So let's go over. With that being said, most likely the long-term trend will continue higher. But we can be more precise than that, and I'll go over the longer-term targets in a minute. But let's focus on the near term, because the near term has the power to change the direction of the long-term trend. So, for example, this is a downtrend currently in play. We're pretty much below this downward sloping trend line. We have a high, and then a lower high, and then another lower high. At the same time, price made a low and another low. So it looks like it's trying to, trend down lower and reach lower price levels. And we can give a target to that. You measure the prior leg. Price can make a similar size leg in the future, and that takes it to right about 147, which is very close to where price, reached before back here on November 21st. It came to about 148, and the target is right around 147.45. So basically, price is almost there. The correction looks to be coming to an end, but that doesn't mean we're going to just reverse, just because we hit a target. You have to look at a level where price can reverse off of, like a trend line or some sort of support. So there's this trend line back over here. You see that you draw this one. Fits like maybe something like that. Fits pretty good. So some sort of trend line like this. So maybe price, goes a little bit lower. Maybe back down to the 139 level, 140 level. That is the prior breakout zone. You can see that this was prior resistance right over here. Price broke through that level. A lot of times it comes back to these levels before moving up higher. Just like over here, we had a peak right here. But what did price do? It broke through it, it fell below it, and then we started holding above it, and then we went up higher. So same pattern can repeat right over here, where we see a breakout, a leg down, pull back, couple legs down, and then finally a bottom before reversal. Same thing right here, leg down, couple legs down, bottom before we reverse. So I'd say overall, this is a corrective structure. It's not looking like anything serious. I'm expecting price to bottom out in the near term, sometime, at the mid 140s. Possibly it could have even bottom right now. But if it does continue trending down lower, it should have a high probability of bottoming out right around that 140 level, and then you just look for a break of that trend line for confirmation. So let's just say, hypothetically speaking, we do something like this, expect the break of the trend line, and then it's probably going to do something like this, off to the races, or come back down and then just move off like that aggressively. If it comes to this level, I'm not expecting it to break out and then fail, or just get to the level, chop around, and then break down. That would be very bearish. I'm not expecting that to play out based on the long-term trend, right? If the trend is still long-term up, which it is right now, then I would expect every correction to come to an end in the near term, and then for that trend to resume higher. So long-term trend is still up, but short-term trend is down, and then I'm waiting for the short-term trend to show signs of weakness for that long-term trend to override it and then continue moving up higher, right? So that's basically what the analysis is all about, right? We're waiting for the short-term trend to come to an end so the long-term trend can continue moving up higher. And as right now, it could be now or a little bit lower, maybe at the mid 140s, potentially even the low 40s, low 140s. Shouldn't be any lower than that, or we're starting to see some red flags. but typically it could bottom out now, a little bit lower, and then potential break of the trend line for a resumption higher. So that's how BABA is looking as right now. So bull case is, we do go a little bit lower to 140, and then we break that bearish trend line for a new high. Bear case is we stay below the bearish trend line, and then we start breaking the 140 level, and then we start, working our way down to the 104 level and so on, right? So that's the bear case. So invalidation for the bears would be a nice break of this downward sloping trend line. Invalidation of the bulls would be a strong break of the 140 level. Then you'd really start looking for lower prices. Looking at the weekly chart, so far so good. Let me look at a measurement target. This is all one leg up right here. You can measure it from right here, one leg up right there. Clone that arrow, you drag it over, and basically we hit the target, right? That's why price is kind of stalling out right around that high 100 level, and now it's forming a bigger correction, right? So this is all one large leg up here, and potentially bottoming out 140 will take this back up to maybe 270. That's if we bottom out right now. We're at the 140 level. Not a lot of resistance on the left side of the chart. So as quickly as we went down is as quickly as we can go up. So Baba's still looking pretty good. The uptrend is still in play, right? We're making significant higher highs and higher lows. We have a high, higher low, higher high, and then higher low. And then see where my drawings went. Either way, yeah, you see we have significant higher highs and higher lows in play on the chart. So overall, looking pretty good for continuation higher. I'm just expecting this correction to come to an end. Just like over here, this was a correction, and we saw higher prices. This was a correction, we saw higher prices, and this also looks like a correction, which I'm looking for higher prices from. Invalidation, like I said before, would be a strong breakup below 140. That starts throwing some red flags. It wouldn't be the end of the world. Obviously, nothing's guaranteed. We can always break below severely and then recover, but it's just not something you'd want to see, right? I'm going over what's like typically what's going to occur and what's more bullish. And what's more bullish is we bottom out right now and we break that bearish trend line and continue higher. Or if we do go a little bit lower, it's still okay. 140 is fine. That's a lot of support over there. Potential support, break the trend line, and then go up higher, and it's all good news from there. If we stay below the bearish trend line and we get to the 140 level and we're not breaking through it, we might be seeing a breakdown. Or if we do break through that bearish trend line, but slightly like a fake out, then like immediately breaks above it, like one candle, and the next day later it breaks down lower. That's not a good sign. That's a fake out, and then it's probably can still continue down lower. So Baba, just to summarize, long-term trend is still in play. We reached a target. That's why it's correcting lower. The correction looks like it's coming to an end very soon, or maybe a little bit lower, and then we can see a resumption of the uptrend from there. Invalidation would be a strong break below 140. That would tell me that, okay, maybe, this might be the best that we get out of the stock for the upside, and it may be just, ready to move back down. But as right now, bullish trend is still in play to the upside, and looking for another leg up higher once this correction is complete. So all I have for Baba on the daily and weekly charts is a Vee Trades, and thank you for your time.